Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Always Moving podcast. I'm your host, Lyndon Suvanto, and it is episode 30. So I said, why not go big here? We're bringing in Deanna Morin. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Lyndon. How are you?
I'm swell. It just finished pouring rain, so we're not going to hopefully hear that while we're recording. And other than that, I feel great. Did some running at the gym. Feeling fresh, just had a shower, so it's first one in a week, so you know that feeling feels good.
Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful here. I'd say it's raining, but it's not. It's a nice week for
I
once.
saw that. My mom sent me a screenshot of the weather. It's like Onaway's supposed to be lovely, so I'm sure Red Deer's not too far. So
yeah, it's been nice. We had some rainy periods for a little bit, but we're looking sunny for the next couple weeks, which is nice.
yeah, you're opening up too.
Yeah, July 1st.
Canada Day is like the big shebang, and this is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. You have to catch up for everything we missed over the year.
Yeah, I mean, last Canada Day was great. We were at the lake.
I say we miss things, but we just go to the lake and do it all there.
Yeah,
so.
and unless you have the gate code, nobody knows, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So I can't help but notice your sweet background.
Yes, I am sitting on the floor because I just moved into my new place and I do not have a kitchen table yet. So I'm sitting on my floor up on my coffee table. But
how do you like your place?
It's good. I'm pretty much moved in aside from the coffee table and a few little things, but it's nice. It's a nice little home and it's starting to feel like a home anyways. Yeah.
Nice, that's the best.
Yeah.
We recently got a bed frame here, so it really felt good to get the bed frame set up, and then I got a TV in the room now, and it's really coming together. It's a cute little place.
It's the little things, right?
It's those little things, and once the gators stop trying to get inside, we're gonna be fine.
That's nuts. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's crazy.
But so I thought you would be a perfect guest because you have experience playing sports overseas. And for the people that listen to my show, they don't want to just hear about handball the whole time. So you actually went and played hockey. So I'm going to start it from the beginning. When did you start playing hockey?
That's a good question. I was trying to think of when I started. I probably started skating around 3 or 4. And I don't like to tell people this, but I did play ringette for a year, and then I switched to hockey. But I think it was around 5 or 6. Yeah. My brothers were into hockey, and then we just kind of taught along whatever they did, and then we got really into it. So my sister,
but your brothers played too,
yes.
Competitive on teams as well.
Yeah, they played all the way up just to midget hockey and played competitive, and then they went to school and just kind of focused on that. But when we were little, we kind of just did whatever they did, and then my sister and I, we both just kind of took to hockey. So I can't tell you a specific age, but maybe 5 or 6. But
that's the Canadian coming out in you right there. Everyone's in that range when they started.
Yeah, everyone starts to skate real young, whether you're figure skates or boy skates or whatever you want to call them. But started young.
So what was it like? Because were you and your sister, did you play on the same team like the whole way growing up?
We did, yeah. We played on the same team. Since we were little. I played defense up until Bantam when we switched to girls, and she was always a forward. Yeah. And then once I switched to forward, we were always on the same line and same teams until Europe, and then they kind of split apart a little bit. But
did you guys have like a twin, like the Sedin twin connection when you were playing? Was it just like you knew where she was going to be the whole time?
Yeah, it's kind of funny when our spring hockey team, our coaches called us the Sedins, but we just kind of knew where each other were, and like we just kind of had that little sense, I guess you could say. Yeah, and if we didn't, we kind of argued with each other, but sisters got over it super quick, so it was all good.
At the end of the day, you could just blame the third person on your line, right?
Yeah, they're not on our level. They're not on our.
Yeah,
that's right.
Damn twin.
Yeah, exactly.
So then you went to Europe, which is amazing because I've only ever known of one other hockey player that went over and played that I've known personally. Well, 2 now actually. But when did that kind of become an option for you?
2, I would say, a couple girls that that are a few years older than us that played at U of A with us. They went and we kind of saw them and like posting pictures and talked to them how much fun it looked. And I always had like keen for traveling. I always liked to travel. So I kind of was looking into it briefly. And then my last year, I was like, okay, like I need to go somewhere, whether it's, I don't know, Sweden, wherever it was. And so actually a team just happened to email my coach and like any girls like would be interested. So I started talking to this team and then ended up going. And I wasn't too like keen or crazy on where I was going, but I just wanted to go somewhere and then travel while I was there as well. But yeah.
So where did you find yourself? Where was this team that you went and played with?
Karlskrona, Sweden. So very south Sweden. Yeah.
And what was that like? Because when I first went to Europe, sorry to cut you there. When I first went to go play handball outside of like the academy that we went to, when I was flying over, it was just like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I don't know anyone on this team. I don't know the language. Like, is this going to be the biggest mistake ever? Were you running through the same kind of thing?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I was so excited until the night before. I kind of broke down. I'm like, what am I doing? And I was like really nervous. And then the airport, I might have broke down a little bit. It wasn't so much leaving home. It actually kind of was just like missing my sister because I've never been apart from her. So that was huge. And then on the plane, I was just a nervous wreck. I'm like, what if I show up to this place and like, I don't like the team, the coach, the coach, the city. What if I'm living in like a shoebox, I was really nervous. Yeah, I threw up in the bathroom because I was such a wreck.
Really?
And then, and then I got there and it was kind of good. Like I felt a little better. And then myself and the other girl who went together, we got to the apartment and we were just beat from traveling all day and just kind of wanted to, get some food and go to bed. And then the coach says, like, oh, I'll see you guys at the rink at 8. I was like, rink? Like, I didn't think we were going to practice. So we had a nap and then went to the rink. And then honestly, when I got to the rink, it was like everything was fine. It seemed like the smell in the air. It's like you're in a rink.
Yeah.
A rink. Same with you guys with like gyms.
Yeah.
You just feel comfortable. So I was like really relieved that we had practice that night. And I just felt calmer at that point. And then I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't the worst decision.
Yeah.
I was thinking on the airplane, but yeah, it was scary.
Yeah.
Like the day of, like I didn't know what to expect, but once we got to the rink, everything kind of to fall in place and be good.
Because I remember packing before, like the day. Well, I always would wait like the day before or like a couple of days before I'm leaving for a year or two. I'm just packing. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the greatest thing. I'm on my next step. I'm gonna go pro. Like, all this shit's gonna happen. I get on the plane and I'm flying. Like, I think it was on this trip. I was flying over Greenland to go across, and it was a clear night. You could see all the ice in the mountains, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? like, this is
where am I going? What am I doing? Yeah, it's
Did you know? Like the people, the girls that you talked to before, did they play with this club?
No, they actually didn't. They played at a whole different club and they played in Gothenburg. I know I'm not saying that right. But so no, didn't know. I kind of was Googling the city and seeing like what's around and the team and stuff. But like it was all just kind of my own research. I was just so excited to go to Europe. And I'm like, yeah, I'll play for you. Like,
I don't even care. I'm going.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah.
How was the team when you first got there? Were they pretty warm? Were they excited? There's foreign players coming, and did they speak English? Because half my team didn't, and the ones that did weren't very good at it. So, like, how was it kind of integrating with the team in like the first couple weeks or days like that?
It was very just like weird hearing a different language at first. I was so not used to that, but they actually all spoke really good English. And then same with the coach, they spoke really good English, but we were the first like foreigners to come. So they'd always explain drills in Swedish. And then at the end of the drill they'd be like, oh, like next time we'll do it in English. So it'd be like that for like a week. So we're like, okay, we'll just go to the back of the line. But yeah, it's funny. People always ask, like, oh, did you learn lots of Swedish and stuff? I didn't really learn too much because everyone spoke English.
Yeah.
And I learned a few lines and like a few things here and there, but nothing too crazy because they all spoke English.
Yeah. And it's probably all the good stuff that you learned too, right?
Yeah, that's right. I used to be able to order a beer, but I don't remember it anymore. But yeah.
No, yeah, I found with the people in France that spoke any English at all, they just wanted to practice their English. I'm like, guys, I'm trying to practice my French here, and thankfully I was in the university there learning French, but they're just like, the one guy would say like, "Where is Kevin?" It's just like this
Oh,
doesn't help at
really?
all, guys. Like, and then
Yeah.
in the city, I don't know what it was like. Did you ever try practicing Swedish? Did you get enough to practice it? Like, if you went to a store, you'd be like, "Oh, mango tack" or whatever you would say.
I could start to understand conversations a little bit, but I couldn't really say much.
Yeah.
We always went to a restaurant for lunch and supper, like the same one, and got our food. And the guy who was there would always make us speak Swedish, so we'd be like, "Oh, I'm like have to speak."
Yeah.
But honestly, yeah, I couldn't like put together a sentence, but I could start to like I would know kind of what you're talking about.
Well, it sounds like you did better than Craig did. So
Great.
in Denmark, at least, Craig just butchered these things. It's like, man, you're not even trying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, but
Yeah. So when you kind of look back on it now, how was the experience playing over there? Was it just everything you imagined and more, or
it was awesome. It was very different
yeah,
compared to Canadian. Like the style of play was different. Like they were pretty focused on like fancy plays and stuff, and that's just like not the Canadian way. I
not the
mean,
gritty Canadian,
yeah. So that was different. The way they worked out and trained was very different as well. It was not bad. It was just new, and it was definitely an adjustment.
Yeah.
And essentially, just Canada just does things differently, I guess you can say. And I'm just so, I guess I could say, stuck in my ways. Like
Yeah.
even for like pregame rituals or like what you do before, you know.
Yeah.
So it was all kind of new, learning new things and like just adjusting and like this is the way it's gonna be, and you're gonna do it. So yeah, it was just kind of adjusting.
And was there ever a time where you're like, this way stupid, like you would get home to the apartment and like, I don't know what this is. This isn't hockey. Was there ever a moment where you're just like, you call
Yes.
home and just like, this is garbage?
Yeah, there's a few times like why are you doing this for the PK or like the power, you know, like there is definitely, and then I gotta remind myself that like not everything your way is the right way, and like to like just take it, even if it's not the right way, just do it. You're here for the opportunity and just kind of embrace it and try not to focus on the negative things. But I did, yeah, get a little caught up sometimes, but just too competitive sometimes. But
yeah, no, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's not bad to be competitive in a sport.
yeah, exactly. And I guess it's good when you have things to say about it. So
Yeah, and for myself, like all the years that I played with different teams and different coaches, and some of the techniques are just like, what is this? Like, why am I doing this? But then kind of now when I tell young goalies and stuff, just like everyone that teaches you something, maybe you'll pick up one thing, but maybe that one thing will be instrumental in your game. So just like go in open-minded and just be like, hey, let's see, this guy has to know something. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if you even pick one thing up, like you said, and put that in your own toolbox, and yeah, that's for sure. Everyone has something to offer.
yeah.
So yeah.
How is it with the fans? Because you and the other girl that came, you were the first international players. Were they just did they embrace you, like love every moment, or?
Yeah, they we actually had like, quite a few fans, and the atmosphere was different. Like they like chant and like sing things, and so that was like very different. But I was like liking it, and we had like a big intro, and like they turn on these lights, and it was pretty cool. And then at the end of the game, they'd all come to the side of the boards and like bang on the boards, and like and then we would all go up and jump in, and like that was pretty cool. That was all new.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did pretty well that season. So lots of fans kind of came out, and we kind of got lots of attention, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
For sure.
Was it a very big city that you were in?
I don't know the population, but it wasn't too big. Like we walked everywhere, like to the grocery store. And then we did bus to the rink.
Yeah.
I wish I knew the population, but no, it's not too big. Like everyone kind of knows who you are in the town. Like, small world kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the best. That was my experience too. It was like people knew me as that Canadian guy who was here playing handball. Like, I was like the same thing. Like, oh, there's the Canadian girls, or good game, or whatever they would say. So
yeah, it was kind of nice to have that small town feel, and then you get
Canadian.
to know people, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, because did you have like this small like, oh, I'm a celebrity? Did you ever get that moment?
A little bit, like we'd be in the newspapers, and then they would see you and talk. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was neat.
Yeah, that was again, same, because I played in all these small towns, smaller cities, and you see yourself in the paper. I'd get 4 newspapers and just cut out the picture and save it, mail it to my family or whatever. I've still got all like the press clippings. But I think the coolest one was I was calling like the electric company or something, and I was doing my French, and my French wasn't great, and I was trying to explain like, oh, I need to pay this bill, or I got to cancel the line, or something like that, and they're like, oh, like, I know who you are. You had a good game, and it was like, oh shit. Like,
like, yep, I did it.
I'm a Filipino. Look at me now, ma.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The little things in that small town feel.
So what would you say were some of the biggest like cultural adjustments you had to do moving from Canada to Sweden? Like not just the hockey, because as you said, the style, everything was different, but the city and the country, the food, everything. Like what were some things you kind of had to get used to, and what are some things that you're kind of glad you don't have to do anymore?
For the food aspect, I didn't find it too different. So like that was like pretty a nice ease.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. But I would have to say it was like a slow pace, like of life in general, if that makes sense. It just seemed like everyone was so calm. It seemed like nobody works. Like I don't like they were always off. And fika was pretty cool. So it was like they call it fika, so that's just like going for coffee and socializing.
Yeah.
And it seems like we were always doing fika, even, like
7 days a week, everyone was going.
Right? Like I did work when I was there, and it's like we were always having coffee. I'm like, this is great. So that was great. And probably like the buses and the trains, and that was a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So taking the bus every day, and like the big trains to different cities, that was an adjustment for me for sure. That's the one thing that I'm not is that I don't miss is taking the bus.
Yeah.
I like having my own car. But other than that, it was just like a nice slow pace, relaxed.
Yeah.
Everyone was friendly. Everything was nice and clean. Nice city. Yeah, that's all I can. Yeah, not too much of an adjustment, but like a nice adjustment.
It felt like just this calm paradise kind of place. Like
it really did, and like it seemed like everyone was just had no care in the world, which is kind of nice. Yeah.
Yes, especially compared to like Canada, what I see now is everyone's concerned about everything. So it's like
exactly, and they're always like point A, point B, and like always on the move. But people always just had time in their day to sit and go for coffee, even if they were working, and so it was kind of like
I'm taking my break.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
But that was probably the biggest thing, and then maybe when I would go to different cities would just be like the size and like getting used to transit and stuff. That was for me for sure.
What did you do for work when you were there?
So we were kind of like maintenance, and like we would clean things, and yeah, it was we were told we were going to be administrative people, but we were not. But no, it was good. I worked with
the way you said it makes it sound like you didn't do your job at all. You're always having coffee. You're maintenance.
I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. I worked with a nice lady. There was a real big language barrier between her and I, but I liked her. We had fun. She was cool. But no, it was good. It was you didn't have to work, but I just kind of wanted to fill my days, and because you got practice every day, so some of the girls worked, some of them didn't, but I just kind of chose that route and thought
Yeah,
it'd be nice to make a little cash to travel later and
that's nice.
go on my day, right?
Yeah, because some of the times when I was playing with these teams, I was in the university or whatever, but then I worked in a supermarket as like a shelf stocker guy. But it was a perfect kind of morning job, and I'd speak French with all these people, and then everyone that worked at the store would come up with the newspaper and they'd be like, hey, there's you or whatever. And it's
Really?
like,
Yeah.
it was
No, it's definitely nice to get out and
yeah,
do it.
it was this nice kind of escape from, not escape, but it was a nice second life outside of the handball, because it was like you're practicing all the time, you're running, you're going to the gym. So then you're just like, oh, I'm in the supermarket, I'm just here. Hey, do you need more like sparkling water over here or whatever? And it was like I didn't care what the work was. It was great. And in France, I don't know, was Sweden expensive? Because France was super cheap to live.
Oh, really? No. Sweden was so expensive. Yep. I can't remember like comparing like, but it was expensive and like even going out to eat, maybe like $35 for a burger and fries.
Yeah,
That's without yeah, it was expensive. But yeah.
yeah, so France was good that way of being cheap as hell. So it was great. Like my apartment, I was paying 300 euros a month. It's just
Oh, nice. That's
like,
amazing.
and so like with the salary from the club and the salary from my job, it was like I paid for the whole road trip that Dusha and I did just with the stuff I made there. So
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how different countries all around Europe have like some are so cheap and some are so expensive. Like it's wild.
so where were you able to travel to when you had the time when you were there?
So we went to Copenhagen, like just when we had a weekend off.
Yeah.
We went to Oktoberfest there, which is really fun. And then we had another weekend off. We went to Rome. Um, so that was, and then yeah, that was it. Like during the season,
Yeah.
and then actually no. And then at Christmas, Greg and myself and Greg, we went to Berlin, Prague, Budapest.
Yeah.
We went to the school you guys were at in Aarhus. That was pretty cool.
Big
I'm
red
glad I saw that. That was amazing. I love the city.
Yeah.
It's like perfect size. Like that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then my parents actually came at the end of the season,
Yeah.
and then we again did Copenhagen. They wanted to see that. We did Warsaw. What's the other big country in Poland or big some other place in Poland, and then we did Budapest, Prague again because my parents wanted to see that, and then we did London, and then I went on a Kentucky tour, which was like it was 17 countries, so it did all, so it did lots of travel, yeah.
So you did well. You did
Yeah,
well traveling wise.
yeah, it yeah,
So
that was so go ahead.
oh, sorry to cut you. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say traveling was my favorite part.
Oh yeah, it's so cheap to get around. Like you're flying cheap flights or the train or a bus even. It was great.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna ask how you were there just the one season?
Yes, the one season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even remember the year, but yeah, one season.
Yeah. Do you kind of now, do you wish you stayed longer if you had the chance to do another season, or do you think that was perfect? You did what you wanted to do, or
Looking back now, like I came back after the one season thinking I would get a job in my field right away. That was not the case. So looking back now, I do wish I went to Europe another year, just because I hadn't started my career and I thought I was going to. But I guess that takes time. I thought it was going to be easy. But I'm glad I did it before I got like my whole working life going.
before
Now that like now that I'm working, I realize how hard it is to kind of take time off and like I actually have to work to get holidays.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that I've done it. I definitely looking back now, I wish I did another year.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But hell, I mean, you got to do it, and that's not something many people get to do. And
Yeah,
yeah, so kudos, that's amazing.
yeah, looking at the world now, I'm like, thank goodness I went and, I'm like, who knows when, well, things are kind of opening up now, but who knows when I'll ever get back there. So I'm glad I, did what I could when I did.
Yeah, no, and how did it feel? Because I remember the first time I went to Denmark, and I was only there for 5 months, and then I went back later. But it felt like the 5 months was over like that. Like, did it feel like the season just went by in a flash when it, the last like week or two, and you're like, shit, I'm going home in whatever June. It's like, did it feel like it just blew by?
It really did. Like when you count the months that you're there, you're like, man, like it felt like maybe a month and time just flew. Like you can't really explain it. Like it was almost
Yeah.
a whole year. So yeah, you think it would drag, not drag, but you think it would feel longer because you're away from home, your family and friends and stuff. But no, it really went super quick. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that first 5 months I did in Denmark, I woke up back in my old room and it felt like I didn't even go. I like opened my laptop and there was like an hour period. I opened my laptop, there's all these pictures of all these places in Aarhus, and it's just like, that didn't happen. Like that was so fast, like it just blew by. So I was curious how it went for you.
Yeah, no, literally the exact same. And yeah, when you get home, you're like, man, I can't believe I did that, and like you wish you were back there again. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird feeling kind of when you're back and guess back to normal,
Yeah.
whatever that is. But yeah, it's weird.
Was there an adjustment period when you got back?
Kind of. It was weird like coming home, like living at home.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely weird. Like I was used to being on my own for so long. Yeah, and then just kind of figuring out what I was gonna do next. Like I was obviously applying for
Question,
jobs.
right?
Yeah, and exactly. So yeah, and just kind of it was weird. Like everyone had their life already kind of
Yeah.
going. Like they were working, and you're just come back, and you're not. Well, you're kind of stuck. It's kind of weird. Like so, it definitely took a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
And that's something, I mean, I'm still kind of figuring out. I mean, to be fair, I've been traveling and living abroad for like 8 years now. And I've got life here with my girlfriend in Florida, but it's still like, did I make the right choice when I was younger? Because I didn't go to university or anything. I just went and traveled and played and did live this life. And then there's times where I'm like, shit, like I should have went to school. I shouldn't have done this. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, what I did was incredible. And there's enough time to study or work. And I'm so glad I did it. I'm so blessed of what I've been able to do with the talent I had. And I think it's the same for you. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like school's always going to be there. So like you always have that. And it's,
plenty of
yeah,
chance to get debt and do everything you want.
that's exactly, yeah. No, I totally agree. It's, I guess, because like there's like society's norms. So,
Yeah.
and then if you don't do it the same, it's like, oh, maybe I should have, or, so you kind of overthink it. But like there's no right way. So,
And I'm so proud of what I did. And
yeah.
do you still play hockey, or do you play for fun, or?
When I came back, I just played in a rec league, like a women's rec league. And I, then yeah, COVID hit. So we played most of the season,
Yeah.
and then this past year I was coaching a girls team, but then again COVID,
Yeah.
so that kind of got cut short. But I would like to just play rec, and I would like to maybe find a co-ed league,
Yeah.
just for a little bit more of maybe competitive, not competitive, but a little bit more. Yeah, I guess you could say competitive.
Can go with
Yeah.
it,
And just more of a social part as well. So I love hockey, and I kind of will probably always have that competitive side to me. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully find a team here in Red Deer and yeah, meet some people and just try to keep playing as much as I can, whether it's competitive or not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But yeah.
We'll see, right? Time will tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the same with like me and handball and stuff. Like I've done so much, and if I play at a high level again, I do. But if I don't, I mean, I'm proud of the career I've had. I think I've done pretty well. Some kid from Onaway, so
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're sticking with your passion, and either way, it's going to be part of your life. So I'm happy for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice just to keep it a part of it, but I'm also enjoying the non-competitive side. Like, I can go golfing when I want, or I can
Yeah,
do this.
yeah.
Like,
There's this nice freedom to not having to worry
yeah,
about it. So.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, one more question before we get into I didn't tell you we're going to do a good old fashioned rapid fire.
Okay. Uh-oh.
So, yeah. Do you still remain in contact with people from Sweden, or do you see them maybe like on an Instagram, not like an everyday thing, but do you still kind of, oh, hey, this was cool, or oh, I missed that place, or
Yeah, there's a couple girls that I would message. Actually, a couple of them went to go play in the States, so it's kind of cool to see them come kind of over this way to play hockey, and they're a little bit younger than myself, so it's nice to see kind of what path they took with hockey. And another girl I kind of keep in touch. We used to hang out a little bit, so it's mostly Instagram and few messages here and there, but it's still it's nice to keep contact with them, and it's pretty cool to see them on the Snap Map all the way over.
you see, ooh, what's that?
Right? Yeah.
So, I mean, when this episode comes out, you're obviously gonna have to share it with them, and then they're gonna have to get my my listens in Sweden up. So that better
That's
be
right. Yeah.
all right, Dee. Are you ready for some rapid fire? I want to say thank you again. You're my 30th episode. You're the guest. That's a big number, big guest, big time. So thank you for being on, by the way.
Awesome. Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, this has been great.
It's fun, just chat, I could call people on the phone, or I could call them and record it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right? All right.
Awesome.
We are going to do a rapid fire.
Okay.
So you have to say the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay.
Try not to overthink it, and let's have some fun.
Okay, let's do it.
Because we do this, I do this with all the guests, even when the subject matter isn't the most like fun thing to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
What is the best meal that you make?
Chicken parm.
Ooh, nice. I make a pretty mean chicken parm too.
Yeah, I've only made it a few times, but I love it.
Your dream vacation?
Ooh. Vietnam. That just comes to mind because I want to go there next.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that comes up next. It was well, not next, coming up. Who's a personal hero of yours?
Personal hero, probably my dad.
Nice. For Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's kind of my inspiration for hockey, and we kind of went down the same career path. So I feel like I'm calling him every day with questions from work. So
what's this?
Literally though, yeah.
Are you going to the mountain or to the beach?
Mountains. Yeah.
That's the Canadian in you.
It kind of is, yeah. I'm like, beach, depends if I want a boat or not.
Yeah.
I guess not the beach, but yeah.
If you're on the beach with your boat, you've obviously drank too much and crashed into the sand.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, they're both good, but.
First trip post-COVID, where are you going?
Vietnam, I hope so. That's where I want to go.
Yeah. Off the top of your head, name your favorite movie.
Just go with it. It's always my go-to.
Go with it to Vietnam. There you go.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Favorite pump-up song? What's like your go-to song before a game or a workout or something?
Well, Animals Never Gets Old by Nickelback. I don't know. That one gets me going. Yeah, never gets old.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Your favorite current hockey player?
Probably Connor McDavid. I just feel like he's just so good. Yeah.
Right. I don't want to admit it because there's too many Oilers fans that listen, but he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And are you watching the playoffs this year?
To be honest, I haven't been religiously watching. Nope. Just like the Instagram highlights.
Who do you think is going to win?
I want Montreal to win.
Oh.
Canadian
team, yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I've been watching a lot more NBA playoffs than the NHL, but
Okay.
I think it'd be cool to see Montreal win, even though, like a lot of people don't like their fans or whatever. It's just been so long since the Canadian teams have won. Like we got to get some kind of claim back.
I agree. I'm all about the Canadian teams.
Yeah. So that was my rapid fire.
Nice. I was a little nervous, but that was good.
Yeah, no, nice and easy. It's a breezy episode. That's where we're at.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, don't want to keep you much longer. You've got to go buy a dinner table or a dining room table one of these days soon. So maybe hop online and check it out.
Yeah.
Deanna, thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me. That was awesome.
And for everyone listening, that was episode 30 of the Always Moving podcast. I'm your host, Lyndon Suvanto. Deanna Morin, thank you again. And do you know how we end these episodes?
How are we ending it?
Well, Kreger yelled it out, so you got to do it too. You got to tell everybody that we're going to keep this thing moving.
We're going to keep this thing moving.
Hell yeah. Thank you, everybody.